So hello guys and welcome, and we are gonna get a very exciting matchup into the Brood War League. My name is Dax, and Mr. PandaUser is just setting up a few things here and there to get rid of the noise in his background. But we are gonna have a very amazing matchup coming our way. A best of three between some of the best players in the Brood War League. It's eXoBLaZeR versus bayagster. And now, let's just quickly talk about these two players before we get started. eXoBLaZeR, the official coach of the Cebu program of the Philippines in the SEA Games, has been the head of Team XR Brent for so long, an absolute pioneer of the Brood War and the StarCraft 2 community, stemming in from his passion in Brood War. And well, the funny story is, I remember showing up to some of those Cebu casts, and I see everyone is practicing StarCraft 2, and I see Blazers playing StarCraft 1. I'm like, why is he playing Brood War? What is going on? And he loves this game so much. I heard stories that he even knows how to read those Korean map names and really find them. So it's gonna be very interesting to see in terms of our later map pool how that's gonna pan out. So a lot of hype coming into this match, because on the other side of the coin we have a bayagster. Bayagster has been one of the top players in the SCPH community for so long, dating all the way back before StarCraft 2 was a thing. Bayagster was always such a big name, that's for sure, and has always been such a potent player to begin it. Mr. Ram showing up from the front lines to try and bring another kind of line here now in the Brood War League. Some people say that he isn't as good anymore from way back when, but he still has a lot of potency in him. He still has a lot of things to prove, and I'd love to see how this matchup is gonna unfold. Because if you guys remember from our previous tournament in StarCraft 2 this time for Quarantine number 2, bayagster was actually in our top 3, facing off against the likes of Ender and Nox and really bringing them a different kind of flavor with his Protoss race. And this time it's gonna be a PvP, and this is gonna be really exciting to see how this matchup is gonna unfold. So first things first though, we're gonna be talking into our upcoming first map, and that will be Circuit Breakers 1.0. Circuit Breakers, again, an absolute classic of a map. Very notable to be absolutely balanced in so many statistics and the like. A pretty easy fast expansion wall in if need be, but in a PvP, you usually will want to get that second nexus earlier than your opponent. That's for sure. It's very dangerous, as the core of the strategy between that PvP is either that 2 gates or that 1 gate core. And honestly, playing 2 gate is the safest way to go about things. It's reminiscent of the PvP coming into the, what do you call this, coming into StarCraft. It's like the same old thing, that's for sure. And in the meantime though, no habla español y no comprendo un español, por favor señor. That's the only thing I can only say in Spanish, honestly. I took a few Spanish lessons way back when, but this is an English broadcast of the Filipino Brood War League. But yeah, Circuit Breaker is gonna be a very interesting map to actually pick up into this one, and I'm very excited to see how that one is gonna unfold between our two players. But the thing to note right now is we have so many people participating in the Brood War League. And big shout outs to everyone. I just want to list them down actually. You got Artana, Stacy, Banga PH, Barra 2, bayagster, Bruticus 18, Carter TC, you got Cruel with a squiggly line and 2 exclamation points, DCOI, Watts, Deadly Pants, Dead Trooper, Exoskeletor, EXoJM, eXoBLaZeR, Ice Reiko, IGD413, is Small Time, Watts, Naj, Freak Tagged 101, and Huawei. Without you guys showing on up today, this wouldn't have happened. And big shout outs to every single one of you who has joined, who are participating right now. Let's just quickly count. It feels like it's a pretty balanced thing between Protoss versus Terran. On the Zerg side, I see there's around like 4 of them. So it really goes to show that the community is really invested in the Protoss versus Terran. And that really is the case. I noticed from StarCraft 2 that many players of the community like either Protoss or Terran, but sometimes it's only the best of the best that play the Zerg. It's really funny. Like, our best players in StarCraft 2 between Ender and Nox, they're the Zerg players that really are notable, and then almost everyone else is either Protoss and Terran. Based on the Gold to Diamond side of Quarantine 2, it was like PvP after PvP and after PvP. And if you watch Quarantine 2, maybe you're gonna having a little PTSD seeing PvP, but this is a completely, honestly, it's not completely a different thing. But we are seeing it in a different game, and we are going to see a different playstyle into this, because it's going to be very interesting to see the transition between the Zealots and the Dragoons, the Dark Templar showing up to surprise. When are Observers coming? When are we going to see some Reaver play? When are we going to see potential Stargate play? But the thing about the PvP matchup, you don't see too much of the Stargate to begin with. You don't see the Corsairs. They have had a little bit of a experimentation, honestly, in PvP, but it really boils down to gateways and robo facilities brawling one another, shuttles so important, with a few Reaver drops here and there, and the Observers so helpful to really catch out those Dark Templar lurking in the shadows. So how about you guys? I just want to ask, which one is your favorite matchup? What kind of opportunities, what kind of game do you like? As we are just waiting on for Mr. PandaUser to come on and set on up for this game. But I think we can actually get on started. It seems like both players are ready to go in an opportunity like this, and we can just rely on Mr. Panda to show up whenever the game is going on to begin with. And yeah, I know it's honestly gonna be the first time I'll probably do a little bit of a solo cast in this game. Is that Mr. Panda? Is he back?
Yes.
Oh, he's here! Oh, he has saved me. PandaUser, how are you? Are you in our broadcast? Are we good to go? So yeah, I've introduced our players. Our PvP is up and running and ready to go. So let's get into it right away. We got the blue and the red. We got Blazer and bayagster facing off in this best of 3. And we are gonna start things off on Circuit Breakers.
That name. It is what it is.
Don't hate on bayagster name. I love bayagster for who he truly is. TVZ, Mr. Mizzle. ZVZ is really exciting too, but PvP lul. Let's get into the PvP lul. Like, as we say in StarCraft 2, it's all about cheeses here and now. But here on StarCraft Brood War, it's a little bit of a different flavor. It's aggression all the way. So introducing first on our top right side. Actually, let's fix up a little bit of those positions real quick. On the 1 o'clock for Mr. bayagster, and on the other side of the coin, it is eXoBLaZeR on the P4. Is it 4? Is it 5? It's 4, I think. I'll just go with 4. P4 position, all tied up 0-0, and let's get our introductions up and running. On the top rights of Circuit Breakers, it is gonna be the red Protoss of bayagster. Look at that Nexus skin, oh so shiny. And on the bottom right on the other side, you can see these two guys pre-ordering the remastered edition. You can see that these guys really love this game. It is gonna be the blue Protoss of eXoBLaZeR instead. So here we go, Mr. Panda. PvP, what you know about this matchup?
Oh, PvP, it's a fiesta, my friend. One can go cannon rush, one can go 2-gate, one can rush to a Dragoon, one can rush to a Dark Templar.
Exactly.
There's so many openers. Like
this,
going air in a PvP matchup is like one of the most boring things you could do. So everything's just land based, to be honest. But there are a lot of openers.
I'd love to get Mr. PandaUser here. I remember he's been very, very cheeky with playing the Protoss to begin with. But we are going to see the 1-gate here and now for bayagster starting us off. Blazer in the meantime looking to play defensive. And he's backing up on minerals, might be going for the double gateway opening. But, oh no, is he actually going to go for Nexus first? And this is very, very dangerous. This is very dangerous to do on a PvP, that's for sure. So, I just want to quickly get into it, Mr. Panda. So, you usually get the 2-gate, you get the 1-gate core if you want to play the Dragoon opening instead. But, if you are going to go for that Nexus first, and you get scouted out by your opponent who will go for a 2-gate or a very, very early Dragoon push, you might get punished. And speaking of the Dragoon push, it's going to be the Cyber Core here, now bayagster with the Assimilator by the 14 supply mark as well, so he can get some gas to get those walkers walking into his opponent's base.
Yeah, but okay, so one thing to point out here, if you don't scout after your gateway, like, you should be scouting after your pylon, to be honest. Because if you know you're gonna rush your opponent with a Dragoon, or Dragoon, you know, the Cybernetics opener, you're supposed to scout in a 4-player map. Because if you don't know where your opponent is, or what he's gonna do, basically your units are just going to scramble everywhere, just trying to find this and that. So,
exactly.
Yeah, you have to scout if you're gonna do with this open.
And honestly, this is looking really good for BlaZeR because he's not scouted whatsoever as of yet. He gets the Nexus first, and now this will be such a big boost to his economy if he can get a few probes up and running. bayagster, they'll look to saturate, and he will go for an early upgrade on that Singularity Charge. Increasing the attack range allows him to get a little more of that value to play with those Dragoons. But for BlaZeR, he's looking to get in position, and bayagster still cannot find his opponent. What does bayagster know? Absolutely nothing. And this hurts. He has started bayagster because in terms of the build order, if only bayagster got the scouting information on, this could have been an easy punish on that second potential base.
Yeah, and BlaZeR just found out that he already has a Dragoon, so he's gonna have to have those Zealots in position to try to cut off maybe more reinforcements and just play defensively. But since he already has a Cybernetic score, he can just Zealot Dragoon or just maybe go double Dragoons immediately.
Yeah, double Dragoons, double trouble, and he was able to scout out that Cybercore also going for the upgrade. So BlaZeR has an idea of what's to come. He is ready to try and brawl against those upgraded Dragoons, but in the meantime, he is going to be sending out a Zealot first, looking around to see if anything's coming his way, realizes the potential situation onto his Nexus point, and here comes the Dragoon right now, looking to get in position to hit a few of those probes as well as the Nexus itself, taking a little bit of damage.
Going for the probes.
Yes, come on, face disruptors. One more shot. Oh, why did it stop? Why did the Dragoon stop? Dragoon stop.
So, I want to point this out to everybody. Dragoons are the derpiest unit you can ever have in Blue 4. Sometimes they don't attack if you don't position them properly, and sometimes they will move in certain ways you don't know how it's possible, but they just do it for some reason.
They just do it and it happens. And honestly,
Yeah.
two-shot these probes, especially with that range, really safe. And right now, bayagster is forced to wait on the outskirts. He is gonna go for a proxy robo to boot, so maybe a shuttle drop with a Raver perhaps, or maybe a few observers to get that vision just in case he wants to play it safe with the Dragoons. Probe though, going for the scout will immediately get punished by the defensive force. And in behind all of this, we got two gates up and running. Got the core here for bayagster as well. But he is on the clock right now because he's playing against two base with his one. Here comes his out into the front line. We do see bayagster trying to go for a step on back and looking to use that range to his advantage.
Yeah, he could push for the Dragoons because he'll have the upgrade advantage. But then again, BlaZeR is already pumping out more units because of the double gateway as well, and he's nearer to his base, so I think he can hold properly. As long as the robotics facility doesn't get scouted out, he should be in a good place.
Yeah, this is the fastest this game is by default. I mean, anymore, it's kind of memey, honestly, if you play something on not the fastest range. But hey, the Dragoons now looking to back on out. In the meantime, it's really is battle of the bridge here between our two Protoss players. More Dragoons though here from bayagster. And we are gonna get the Robo support base, so yeah, Reaver is gonna be something to note.
Reaver.
But the scout!
Bad.
BlaZeR sees the Robo facility, and this has third bayagster. He is forced in a scenario that he must defend this if he wants to get any value out of the Robo facility, and he's gonna be bringing in those Dragoons, going for the hits already onto one. Been behind though, the building does go down, and the Zealot's gonna be into the front line. It's gonna be pool of blue here for both sides. bayagster really funneling them on in, and BlaZeR in position to have the advantage. He will get a lot of value from his strike force.
He could have taken down the Zealots because the Zealots just tanking the shots. Because as I've said, Dragoons are derpy units. If you attack move a Dragoon, it'll hit the first thing that's in front. And the thing is, when you stop a Dragoon in mid-action, for some reason, it'll stop completely, like you saw a while ago. While it was attacking the Nexus and it was supposed to attack the probe, it stopped immediately. So that's how derpy this Dragoon is.
Dude, I thought it had like I thought the replay had the brain fart, but apparently it's like you know,
No,
Dragoon's it's the Dragoon itself. The Pylon Knight now gonna be burning on up. It's a Dragoon fight here, and now all about concentration fire. And bayagster gonna get some value here in the retreat of BlaZeR, but still BlaZeR 32 probes to 24. Not the highest count honestly here in now, but at the same time looking for saturation. And something to note is BlaZeR is not getting that second gas. He is focusing on getting more minerals, a few zealots, and a few cannons to help things out. Forge gonna be in position, and it seems like the leg enhancement's gonna be next on the list here for our blue Protoss player.
Yeah, so things are actually looking good for BlaZeR right now. He's taken down the robotics facility, like it's delayed the rush that bayagster is going for. That upgrade. What is that upgrade?
That's the shuttle upgrade.
The shuttle.
Yeah, the gravitic drive gonna be allowing shuttles to go quicker, and it seems like a robo facility now onto a safer side here for bayagster is upon us. So what is gonna be the plan here? It must be Reavers right into this one. We are gonna get an observer as well, as bayagster anticipating. It might be DD coming my way. I'm not ready for it. I don't have a fort whatsoever. I'm not gonna have cannons anytime soon. But Blazer is looking to play it a little safer. He's going for his own rope facility. We are gonna see those leg enhancements in the observer, the observer's rather for Blazer, my mistake there, as bayagster is not gonna go for any detection. He is gonna go for the damage instead. It is Reaver time here and now, and it's good to see the Caterpillar back into the fold.
Yeah, I mean, you thought it was good in co-op in StarCraft 2. Wait till you see it here.
It's so different,
More
honestly.
units.
Like if you think about StarCraft 2 and the Artanis commander, and you have those dragoons, and they're like so smooth to use, and then you see them here, they're like smacking into walls, and it seems like they're going blind.
They're magic dragoons, dude.
The magic indeed. I mean, it makes sense. Look, the dragoons have no eyes. Where can it see? I mean, there's a little visor there, like there's like a small little thing.
I think they're supposed to see with the lower, the one
with
that's
with a fan.
The fan. But
the
then
electric
again,
fan.
But then again, in StarCraft 2, their eyes are actually on top, so...
Oh, who knows?
I don't get it anymore.
I don't get it anymore, but yeah, Blazer gonna be sending out the observer. Has gotten his second gas, so both sides gonna be onto gas, onto base. And it is looking to be bayagster trying to even up the count. But Blazer is just building up his army. 74 supply to 64, and it is around 37 army, 30 army on the comparison side. Observer flying on around the Reaver now. Did it get spotted? Yes, it does. So it does seem like Blazer knows that the Reaver is coming. A potential drop gonna be upon our blue Protoss. But oh my god, that's a lot of Dragoons into the front line.
That's not a lot of Dragoons. Like, you should see it if the game goes on longer. But you know, Blazer already has like 5, maybe 6 gateways being made. Or it could be a Templar Archive, like, I could be wrong.
It's a pylon. Yeah, it's a Templar Archives here being built. You can see the production staff there, Mr. Panda, on the top left.
It's so small, dude. Like,
it's also black and white. It's also weird.
Yeah, it's also black and white. Like, it's so small and it's black and white, so I can't really see it. I can see the storm upgrades against me. The storm upgrades is a good
really. Maybe you think it's like it's like antenna or something. But jokes aside. Look outside, pay attention here on the south side, Mr. Banner. We got a shuttle coming away with a Reaver on the inside. And you know, sometimes you have these caterpillars and they're looking to bloom into beautiful butterflies. This might be one way to really get out of your shell and get the big boom. But Blazer with a very quick reaction gets the scout with the pylon. Here comes the drop, and the Scarab looking for the punish. Boom goes the dynamite in the middle of all of that, and that's a big hit there from Mr. Bayagster. It's pretty decent, honestly. Like, it's a good position, but this might be big goodbye. Oh, sometimes you just can't grow up. You can't go out of your shell, and the caterpillar not gonna have any more lives to turn into a butterfly anytime soon. And if you guys looking for special skins, if you pre-ordered StarCraft Remastered, you get like the building skins. You get the Nexus, it's blue right now.
Yeah, you do.
That's some really cool stuff. Yeah, you got some cool stuff right there. And anyway, so here comes the big bull of the army. So this is what a PvP usually unfolds into. Gateway units abound, and a lot of zealots, a lot of dragoons. It's the Aeon Strife happening on circuit breakers, and they're looking to fight for their lives. Yes, sir, it really is. Oh, proxy pylon.
I think that pylon's just for scouting. I mean, you can't warp there.
Really? No warp. Think about StarCraft Brood War having warp gates. What kind of mess that's gonna be, especially with just the limitations of the game. It's gonna be absolute
the best mess, dude.
That's the best mess. You know, there are a lot of messes in Brood War, and you know, dragoons hitting each other is one of them. We'll see right now how the action is gonna unfold. As bayagster is looking to make a little bit of a concave to try and protect himself. No wall in whatsoever, and it's a big army here from Blazer. He does have the advantage around almost 80, and that's army count compared to around 47 from bayagster. Dude, I'm just doing the math myself, okay? I'm just doing the math. There's no army count, there's no army tab, it doesn't help. The game is not giving me the information that I need, so I have to provide it myself. Here comes the Dragoons, though, looking for the damage. It's also into the front line, and the Scarab is being built on it. Psionic Storm, though, in behind, going for the crack already, forcing the Reaper back on that. A lot of messes here, and now the blue pools are there. An Archon being warped in behind, and it's an absolute friendly, but BlaZeR with the advantage, BlaZeR with the numbers, and they get rid of the Scarab right there. It's gone from the game so far, and these are Dragoons right now looking for the hits as much as possible by accident, losing absolutely everything into the front line, and more of these Zealots now brought on into the fold. It's time for damage, it's time for side plays. The Archon just chilling on the outside, but BlaZeR with the advantage. GG is called, and bayagster will fall. BlaZeR will take that first victory.
Yeah. So, how the game played out, I think the scouting factor was there. I mean, wasn't there for bayagster. That's why he couldn't rush his Dragoons properly. And knowing it's a 4-player map, I mean, it's basically 4 bases. So, BlaZeR had the advantage early on because the units, aside from the units, like the bases provided the economy. He denied the cheeses. He even denied the robotics facility that was there early on.
That was huge, actually. Honestly,
yeah.
Panda. You remember, because bayagster was building a support bay in behind all of that and his main base, and he was going for gravitic drive. So as soon as that Raver was built there and he got the shuttle on as well, that could have been really, really painful for BlaZeR's side, honestly, because he might not have been anticipating that. But a very lucky scout, and it was a twofold lucky system there for BlaZeR on that first game. His base didn't get scouted, he was able to go for Nexus first, and then he got the scout instead, so he got the value with the information, he got things done, and well, we are going to be moving into a second game here and now, ladies and gentlemen, and that one is confirmed to be... What's it? It's Escalade 1.0. So this is the first time I believe we're gonna be seeing this map, and the funny thing about Escalade, it looks almost exactly like it almost looks exactly like Circuit Breakers in a few regards here and there. I feel like I remember it has the same tile set, and well, on it really is just, it just reminds me of Circuit Breakers. Honestly, it feels like they're just gonna be playing the same map again, and they're just like, we like this map, I like this map, and I want to do it again, and that's what Escalade is honestly all about. The funny thing about Escalade is it is one of the newest maps. It was made for this year, if I remember correctly. That tournament was for ASL9, if I remember correctly, but it has a lot of verticality. It has 3 different levels of ground game, and it is a similar side of Circuit Breaker, so you can go for a rush if you do find the scout, say Africa TV StarCraft League Season 9 debuting this map, if I remember correctly, and the walls are very, very simple. Honestly, it's just your gate, it's your gateway, it's your forge, it's your pylon if need be. So yeah, Escalade, and honestly, it's a little bit of deja vu coming into map number 2.
Skirt,
indeed. So yeah, Panda. Now moving into game number 2. What do you think is going to be the biggest factor for bayagster to take a map back, or how will BlaZeR run away with it? It can go either way. What's the plan here coming into this next map?
Honestly, as I see BlaZeR, he's really strong in the late game. If bayagster manages to pull something off, like what he did earlier, but scout, he has to scout sooner. Like, take advantage that each probe actually can gather 8 minerals instead of our regular, we know the SC2 like 5. Even scouting sooner is not going to make a difference. As soon as you know where your opponent is or what he's building, you can rush him down almost immediately. And BlaZeR could be shell shocked, but it could not be. But knowing BlaZeR, he's going to have to react to the early scout as well. So BlaZer's going to have to scout himself and check if there's like a cheese or maybe a rush. So it's all about the reaction times for both of these.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like we are getting ready for our next match, and I'm very, very excited to see how this one is gonna unfold. Just making sure everything is fine dandy, especially on the game side. And it seems like we are ready to go, Mr. Panda. Game number 2 coming our way. It's time to see what Circuit Breakers 2.0, or as I would like to say, it is Escalade 1.0 coming into this one. I say Circuit Breaker 2, even though it has the same kind of feel, it has the same kind of basically tile sets, and we are potentially going to be seeing a potential, same kind of game. It's just going to work that way. Maybe, just maybe. But introducing first on the bottom left side of Escalade. I keep thinking this is still Circuit Breakers, not gonna lie. Seeing the same kind of formation, seeing the same kind of map, I'm just like, is this Circuit Breakers again? No, it's Escalade here now, ladies and gents. On the Protoss 7 o'clock on this map, it's bayagster playing that red Protoss. And on the other side of the coin, it's a similar position here for eXoBLaZeR. I'm very, very happy to report that I did not need to change the overlay whatsoever because he starts literally on the same spots. He is on the bottom right side of Escalade. It's our blue Protoss, one map ahead. But the first thing to realize about this map, making it different for Circuit Breakers, is that ramp a little wider, and it does have that egg to try and get in the way. Probe right now going for the scouts. And yeah, our PvP looked to unfold with a gateway immediately here from bayagster.
Yeah, you know, want to point that out immediately. Like, you want to scout almost immediately after your pylon. Like, it won't matter. Whatever matchup you have, as long as you know how to react, because you don't want to get cheesed, and you're gonna want to know how to react to everything. So at least he scouts now. But you know, a few seconds would be golden. Like, you know, take that opportunity to do everything you can to get ahead of your opponent.
Exactly, and something to note about Escalade, like we said before, this is one of the newest maps. It's a 2020 map and has these very, very interesting ramp setups, really going for a level 1, level 2, level 3 kind of thing. And one more thing to note is there is actually a thing in the middle that you can consider to be a 2 gas base, honestly. Just having the 2 gases very, very close to each other. You can go for a little bit of long distance if need be, but at the very same time, hey, that's 8 gas times 2, 16 gas per cycle on one nexus point or the like. It's ridiculous, honestly, how Escalade has these changes, and that's what you can see in the ladder. You have those legacy maps and you have those newer maps, and you can really see the influences of what decade it is. You can really see where it's coming from, and this really feels more like at home, more like StarCraft 2 compared to before with our previous map of Circuit Breakers. Was an absolute classic that you can say has defined the newer parts of the Brew War era, like the 2010s before it became the remastered edition. Okay, anyway though, where were we into this game? We are going to see 1 gate, 1 core here for BlaZeR. In the meantime, bayagster going to do the same. So it's Derpy Dragoon versus Derpy Dragoon, looking like it. The Zealot going to be brought on in. It's a pretty early Robo facility here actually from BlaZeR. And it's very, very interesting to see. He is going to go for the 1 base, 1 Robo gate, and Robo looking to go. And will this be early Reavers here from our blue Protoss side? Might be. You know, we can also go for those drops, like a shuttle with some really, really strong zealots are going to be a good thing. Or what might be even better? Oh my god! Did you see that, Panda? A building disappeared in front of us, and it is going to be 2 gate instead here for BlaZeR. Now he could have realized that his robo play has been scouted and it's not going to work, or he can decide to go for 3 gates instead and play the aggression, surprise his opponent who's anticipating drops, so anticipating some angles, but instead see a face full of army in the front lines.
You need to have 3,000 ideas.
That's the robo facility bait and switch. So, you know, I was expecting, like, if your robo facility does get scouted, it might make your opponent think that you're going for drops, and you're also going for DTs, because you can go for that 2 gateway with the Dark Templar, use the shuttle if need be, but you can really just sneak them in to begin with. Here we go though with the brawl, and I feel like for BlaZeR, his strategy right now is to protect this ramp and protect that information as much as possible. He doesn't want to expose he has too many units in production, and he wants to surprise bayagster with a lot of army along the way. But here on the natural is a very, very simple cascade. We do see a mineral field to really clean up the rest of the wall. Here we go though with damage. It's a brawl between the Zealot into the front line, and the Dragoons trying to get to that high ground, but here on a map like this, it's very, very difficult to move up onto those ramps.
Yeah, because of that, that cocoon, my point, like, Dragoons cannot squish in with another Dragoon. Like,
yeah, exactly.
The pathing's going to be messed up again. Derpy Dragoons, by the way.
It's something we noticed earlier on, Mr. Panda and Neo Sylphid, like in the PvZ matchup. Like the Zerglings could not go out whatsoever in more than 2s. And it really goes to show just how the baiting is. And look at those Dragoons really getting moved around by those eggs. In the meantime, though, BlaZeR having a lot of army. And this might surprise bayagster. As soon as he anticipates this, he's like, okay, he should have a similar ballpark as mine. And joke, never mind, that's a lot of Dragoons coming my way with the Zealot out in front. I have to get out of dodge, get out of here, and look to protect my base.
Yeah, to be honest with that move, like, I think BlaZeR should have shown too much Dragoons. He could have like moved out with 3 Dragoons and the Zealot, which would be fine. And then as soon as you move those units away, position your Dragoons, the sneaky Dragoons, into somewhere near the base and just completely catch your opponent off guard. But then again, I think it's an even Dragoon now. No, it's not. BlaZeR has more.
Yeah. And the thing to note here, Panda, is we have the Observer in position at the Dragoons right now. Oh my god, BlaZeR just running on in. And this is free damage now being done by bayagster. It's a very difficult brawl though. And he has an Observer that doesn't really do much in a situation like this because he was expecting those Dark Templar to begin with. Anyway, though, the Dragoons right now still staying with the fight. The Zealot gonna be looking for the claws on in. But in the end, because bayagster able to get some free damage on, he has the advantage in the fight on the high ground.
Yeah, like, this is one thing to point out. You don't take out the pesky Zealot.
Yeah,
it's just gonna deal too much damage to you. Like, even one Zealot can change the tide of a battle in a Dragoon versus Dragoon moment.
Look at that, BlaZeR forced on the low ground, man, and it really feels like bayagster getting a little bit of a lucky break with that extra DPS early on, and really those eggs getting in the way of whatever BlaZeR wanted to do in the first place. But now with the Observer, he's able to scout things out. It looks like a jug, it looks like a chalice. It also looks like a...
It's a reverse chalice, bro!
Yeah, exactly, and it has a tripod also, that's for sure. It looks like it's a ring light that's closed up, and BlaZer's like, okay, these eggs have screwed me over before, and I'm now gonna take care of them by breaking those down. So one of these eggs with a 20 HP gonna go down eventually, and this will allow BlaZeR to really bring in the onslaught of these Dragoons. But bayagster notices it coming, he's looking to protect, and he has a Reaver for some flash damage all the way on that high ground.
Yeah, it's amazing to see like those cocoons being blown up. They're the unbreakable rocks. Oh wait, sorry, they're the breakable
Unbuildable, man. They're not unbreakable.
Unbuildable.
Unbuildable egg. That's exactly it. So here comes the Dragoons right now going for the fight again. The Reaver now with a hit into the face. We do see the concentration fire though onto the Caterpillar, and it will go down immediately, but still advantage here for bayagster. It really is just a subtle fight between Dragoons hitting each other. You see those balls being tossed at one another. It looks like a snowball fight, but eventually everything dies and BlaZeR has to retreat.
Yeah. In terms of how much BlaZeR is bleeding out right now, he's losing too much, to be honest. But there are a lot of units moving out of the map. Like, I think BlaZer's gonna commit to this. I mean, if he doesn't take a second place right now, he's just gonna lose all throughout this game, to be honest.
And look at that probe count. It's something we haven't been able to talk about because there has been so many fights. But bayagster has 39 probes to BlaZeR 16. That's ridiculous.
Wait, did you like get a count for that?
Huh?
I didn't see it.
Huh? It's on the top right, Panda.
It's on the top right.
It's on the top right, Panda. Listen, I have to do the math for army counts, okay? So I'm like,
okay.
31 minus 4 was 30. But the worker count is there, so it allows my math to be faster.
My bad.
Oh my god, PandaUser. Open your eyes, you know? I know pandas like to take a nap. I know like pandas like to take a nap and stuff. They sleep all day, enjoy bamboo. But hey, Mr. PandaUser, wake up because the Dragoons are going to be coming onto the outskirts yet again. And by this point in time, bayagster and BlaZeR do have an even army count, honestly. And with bayagster having that probe lead by a ridiculous amounts, well, that is going to be a pretty big difference. The Reaver going to be very helpful as well. Second base now immediately saturated at the very start. And the Scarabs in behind, going for the punish, going for the pokes, getting some good hits into the front line. And BlaZeR has to retreat yet again. Looks like this 3-gate not really working out. It's a 4-gate actually. A full investment already by BlaZeR.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, like, maybe even going an air unit would have been fine. But no, if this continues to play out, I think bayagster's gonna have this in the back. Even if you position your Dragoons far apart, like Reavers are just there.
So
If
people,
bayagster somehow manages to mess this up, I don't know how, but it could be possible. Could be possible.
okay, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but StarCraft Brood War still follows the rule of three. Basically, you want to have three workers per patch. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the optimal one. But at the very least, you want to have at least one worker per mineral field uh, to have a little bit of optimization. But if I remember correctly, yeah, it's three X per patch. You guys should look that up. But basically, since the game doesn't tell you, you just have to figure it out. Just go for a count. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there's like 7, so 21. 21 workers should be enough. As BlaZeR not gonna go for the attack again, but I feel like we're just gonna get same old, same old. The Scarab right now gonna be well protected with the Reaver all the way in behind. It forces eXoBLaZeR to walk on in a pretty awkward spot, and this is looking pretty even for both sides. Neither side having upgrades, but it is still bayagster looking to hold. BlaZeR gonna call the GG. Knows this is a war of attrition, and victory gonna go on over to bayagster's side. We are all tied up 1-1, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Like, good defense by bayagster there. Even though BlaZeR did go for that sneaky cancel, bayagster was just ready. I mean, he committed to the robotics facility and he defended properly. And it was as you've mentioned, the battle for attrition. As soon as the second base was fully saturated and it was being defended from time to time, BlaZeR just saw it was GG.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen at all. With the whole tech advantage also on bayagster's side, I think BlaZeR. I think that the thing about people who are honestly playing StarCraft 2 right now, they know how to call it earlier on, and that's something I realized seeing a few older Brood War tournaments as well. There are some fights that the players just don't know when to call GG. That they
Yeah.
still feel like there's a combat potential and the like, and it makes sense because it's a lot harder to micro things in Boudoir, and you can really punish those things and the like. But when you know your opponent and you know what they're capable of, BlaZeR just calling it quits there because he knows eventually bayagster is gonna come out. Eventually,
Yeah.
bayagster is gonna go for the drop with the Reaver, and that is gonna be the show there and then. So thank you to BlaZeR though for a GG call, not taking us sit through absolutely nothing because it was just like the same old thing anymore. And bayagster with a good read, with a good defense, and with a good enough hold. Lucky on that high ground, but very cheeky there from BlaZeR. Kudos to BlaZeR, whipping out a very interesting fake and turning it into a 4-gate. Could have actually worked out if only those pesky eggs weren't in the way.
Yeah.
Solid victory indeed. And that is gonna allow bayagster to get map number 2. And in the meantime, guys, we do wanna surprise you with a little bit of a something. And we are gonna do our second giveaway of StarCraft PH Remastered.
Okay, I'll shut up for this.
No. This is the part where you can just talk about anything you want. This is exactly the part, ladies and gentlemen. Or let me just look for that question. But Mr. Panda, can you tell us a little bit of a story of what has been your favorite Brood War moment in your whole life?
Can I join now?
Yes, you can join now. You can join now too. Oh, wait. Can you join the giveaway? Oh.
No.
You have to ask Mizzle.
No,
you have
we
to ask
can't.
that. You have to ask Daddy Mizzle first if you're allowed to or not.
Oh,
Mizzle,
my dog's being noisy. Wait, be right back.
Mizzle, are you there?
I'm
Mr.
here.
Admin.
What's up?
Is Extinct allowed to join now?
To where?
He wants to join the second giveaway that's coming our way. Are you gonna allow him to join now?
If you're going to cast and then you will join. Baka
No,
sabihin ba?
Okay, I mean we can be, if you guys want to be transparent. The whole thing is the only thing everyone else can see on the Discord chat is the game itself. No one else has control of OBS besides me. But the only thing, Mr. Extinct, I got it. Extinct, you can't stay in the Discord. You can't stay in the VC if you're gonna join right now. Leave.
Want to join?
No, yeah. So, okay, I'll explain. Dax is a very. Oh wait, look at my face first, so you guys can know I'm being honest. Wait lang. Okay. Get out, Extinct. Get out. Extinct, out. Leave the voice chat. So basically, guys, the story is this. I think if Extinct joins, the only thing he has the advantage if he's in the Discord with us. So he's gonna hear my audio. So you have to leave. So you can only watch the stream.
I won't join. I won't join.
You won't join.
kidding. I already
Okay.
have remastered, but I do wanna
What?
sell something on stream.
Oh my god! Why are you making us have all these antics though? Is this part of the show now? Is this
I
the?
I just want to say something on stream.
Okay, I love it. I love it. There
I
you.
just want a small announcement. A small trivia. Actually, it's Blazer versus bayagster on the Amanoma Gaming finals from the previous.
Ooh, that's
So
spicy.
this is like a rematch.
That's pretty spicy, honestly. Oh, when we are all type 1-to-1, so it really goes to show that these two players are very, very close with one another. But anyway, guys, we are gonna go into giveaway number 2, and our question
Sorry.
is let me just check if everything's good. Yep. And there you go. This is our question. So grab your pens, grab your typing, type very, very quickly because you have 3 minutes. As our question is, who is the character printed on the box of StarCraft Brood War? Pretty much who's the character in the middle, especially the splash art. And we are looking for both the first name and the last name together. Okay? No need for the spicy middle name, just first name and the last name together.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, we're typing those down. We're getting those answers going. So how about you guys? I don't want you guys to say anything about, the answer, but in terms of Brood War, what was like your favorite moment happening? Like what was your favorite moment of like the Brood War campaign? You guys can talk about anything there. Any of you. One of you three. Come
Oh,
on, guys.
Favorite
Come
moment. Favorite moment. Sorry.
well, if I may share, my favorite moment is when Sarah Kerrigan was left alone. What was that scene again when she was left alone in that planet where um
But that's StarCraft 1. That's the base game. I'm talking about Brood
Yeah,
War, sir. Like the
shoot,
yeah,
Brood
no,
expansion.
War.
that's Brood War. She
I
was
mean,
left behind
I mean
in
that
Brood
no, I
War.
mean that's the original StarCraft, not Brood War the expansion. But same
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Okay, it's okay. Fine, let's go with any moment between the 6 episodes. Fine. So when she got left on Tarsonis, right, basically,
That was
and
Tarsonis.
and you had to basically defend the Zerg against the Protoss. That was something. That was absolutely something. That's such a big moment that really turned the whole story into a completely different thing. But yeah, so yeah, Mizzle, go ahead, continue your story. Hello.
I actually never played campaign, so I don't know.
How have you never played campaign? Okay, guys, quick little
Shit.
survey in the chat. Who has never played campaign before? Because I think everyone starts with campaign. Honestly, there's like, how do you not start on campaign, right?
I start by watching YouTube,
You
and
start
it's
by watching YouTube. Is that how you do it? Is that how you support it?
I just watch cinematics on YouTube. That's all.
Well,
Okay.
before I played StarCraft 2, that's what I did as well. I just watched on YouTube.
That's
Me,
that's fair.
I'll
I
put
just
out my favorite moment there.
Yes, please.
When Kerrigan went down and just straight up killed Aldaris with Zeratul and Artanis in front of them.
Oh yeah, it's pretty
Like,
boss. It's just
she
like
did,
fuck,
she,
fuck this
she
shit.
didn't give, she didn't give a shit, dude.
Just
Just
like
straight up killed Aldaris.
just
I like
absolutely just get the murder on. And anyway, guys, wait. Before we continue, we are gonna be getting answers in 3, 2, and 1. So our answer, of course, is going to be it's Sarah Kerrigan. So yeah, Fested Kerrigan, basically the one on the splash art. And who was the first one to give us both the first name and the last name, Mr. Mizzle? Check out the chat real quick.
I
I feel
think
Okay,
like
so
I think
that's
it's
the
Dog
winner.
Flash.
Our
yeah.
winner is Doggy
next.
Stash.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's Dog
Doggy Stash. I feel a little sad for Tag once because he dropped the quick little Kerrigan, but we were looking for both the first
Yeah,
and the last name. But there you go, Doggy Stash. With the victory, we'll take our second giveaway of today. So congratulations to Doggy Stash. He did it. He did it. Yeah, and we are gonna be looking to get into map number 3. But yeah, Sarah Kerrigan. As these guys were mentioning, basically the moments, and it
Yeah.
feels like all their moments involve Kerrigan in one way or the other. An absolute badass character in many regards. And I for
Because
me, yeah, I think for me, like my favorite moment of StarCraft 1 was basically when what was my favorite moment? I think my favorite moment was when Stukov and Duran had that whole thing, and you had to kill Stukov as Duran. Then you just get baited and you stop playing Duran because he disappears. It was like pretty big. It's like, oh my, oh no, it's a double agent kind of thing, and it worked that
Spoiler.
way. So it's really
The,
cool.
the spoiler of the century. Duran is
Spoiler.
not who he is.
I remember playing one time on campaign and typing power overwhelming. It's fun.
Wow, congratulations. A
Oh,
professional player.
congratulations. Yes,
Listen to
you
this as a professional player saying he plays cheats on campaign. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, enough about that, and let's get back into our segment. So congratulations to our winner. Mr. Mizzle will be handling that one, and thank you to Extinct and Mizzle to hop on in. But it is time for me and Banda to get back into the action, and our next map on the list will be to break this tiebreaker. To break this tie, rather, be the tiebreaker. It is Bloody Ridge 2.1. Now, first things first, I had to figure out what this map was. Honestly, guys, I had to figure out what this map was because since Mr. Blazer can read Korean, he picked the Korean map. He picked the Korean version of this map, and I was like, "What is this map? What are we actually gonna be playing?" And in the end, we was like, "Oh, okay." I had to guess which map was what. It's like, is this one? Is it that one? Is it this one? And there you go. We got Bloody Ridge coming our way. And the thing about Bloody Ridge is a 2010-2011 map, but it has a lot of tightness. That's for sure. You can really choke out your opponent and force them to stay on one base if you do get in the way of that natural. And at the same time, it has a very interesting ramp dynamic. Again, it's a pretty long slope, that's for sure. I think it's like how many levels? Like 1, 2, 2 levels plus 1, maybe 3 levels actually, and you even have a high ground to boot. So there's a lot of verticality in a map like this, and the center expansion again has 2 of those gases, which is absolutely ridiculous if you think about it in the Brood War point of view. But with the very narrow starting points on a map like this, well, it is a little easier to defend if you do get in your proper shape and form. And it seems like we are ready to go to game number 3. Who's gonna be taking this one, Panda? Who you be backing out after those first 2 games?
I'd still put my money on Blazer, to be honest.
Okay, and then we will take that one in stride, and we will get into this next game. Let's get into game number 3, and let's get into the action. Oops. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And yep, this was like, I almost quit the game, guys. I almost quit the game. That's how you do it, guys. That's the ultimate production value here and now. But we need to get our positions up and running. And Mr. Bayagster introducing on the bottom left corner of this map of Bloody Ridge 2.1. It's a red Protoss, able to win out on game number 2, and he is on the position of P7. So yeah, we are correct on that. But his opponent on the top right instead, it is gonna be the blue Protoss instead of eXoBLaZeR, looking to take this one by storm.
So since this is like, I think this is a 1v1 position map. So you can't scout anywhere else, or is this still a 4? Am I wrong?
If I can remember correctly about Bloody Ridge, this is a 1v1 map. There's only 2 parts to spawn on, and it is always a diagonal aspect to try and play things out. With the 2 guys in the middle though, it might be a battle of supremacy, and it might be a battle of attrition to really try and take position there. But honestly, the biggest important parts of this map has to be those narrow chokeholds, has to be trying to get through your main to your natural and looking for a fallback method, a plan B, so to say, if need be.
Yeah, since there's like a small chokehold there, I think Blazer's going to be expanding, and he's going to know how to manage with these expansions. I'm surprised that Bagster or Blazer didn't bother to go for a cheesy 2-gate here, or maybe even a cannon rush. But, you know, I would have loved to see that from both of them. But knowing the 2 players, they're going for a bit standard-ish type of gameplay.
It's very standard. The only thing that has been not so standard so far was basically an ultra aggressive 4-gate, but you can really put that in a, you know, in a more standard point of view. And a PvP here in Brood War, I really think of like two-gate Dark Templar rushes and the like, or yeah, the Cannon Rush, absolute classic if you can actually get it up and running. But it really goes to show these aggressive openings and really all about fighting in a mirror matchup like the PvP. But eXoBLaZeR is now looking for the scout. Gonna see his opponent sees that there's a gateway, there's another pylon coming online, and a cyber core to boot. 1 gate, 1 core, pretty safe to assume Dragoons coming his way, and he will just accordingly with 2 gateways instead. Might be Zealots double pumped out to defend, especially as he has gone for a Nexus pretty early into this matchup.
Yeah, so I think it's bayagster's call if he wants to rush in something. Oh, he denied the gas.
He denied the gas. That's interesting, but BlaZeR doesn't really care because he is going on 2 gate anyway, and he's gonna be looking to focus onto those Zealots. Now for bayagster, the biggest part for this harass has to be that Dragoon micro. If he gets the hits in time onto those probes, well, he will get some good value at the early part. But again, if BlaZeR is able to run away with it with the Nexus first opening with those 2 gateways in behind, well, it is gonna just basically be the BlaZeR show yet again, having the macro in his advantage.
Oh man, bayagster could have made another assimilator. It'd just be pesky and, oh, I'm gonna take all your gas. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna take all your gas, but BlaZeR doesn't care. It's these Zealots are paid in blood and minerals, and they're looking to really just refine their movement here and there. I feel like for BlaZeR, he is gonna be wanting to build up on Zealots first, just to make sure he can defend his 2 Nexus points, and he is just really focusing heavily on that mineral count. He has split his workers. What's happening?
He's just pumping out Zealots, and he doesn't care about assimilators, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he only wants to play Zealots right now, and bayagster may be able to punish this accordingly, but by this point in time, BlaZeR is playing in a way that doesn't care about what his opponent is doing because he is gonna go for the proxy gateway to boot to try and assault the opposition. He's just funneling them in onto the diagonal, and it is a pretty interesting traversal of this map. As bayagster is looking around, trying to make sure that everything is fine and dandy. He knows there are gateways go up and running, and it's 2 Nexus point, 3 gateways, all about Zealots here, and now going for the brawl and really trying to get in the way of those Dragoons. A good thing to note though here for bayagster, he can block things off, especially with the pylon in the way, but he still has to run around because these Zealots giving chase onto those Dragoons.
Yeah. So the Dragoons will have a hard time micromanaging since you know, the base is a bit small, and there's a lot of room for those Zealots to come by. But oh, he's trying to find out. Is that a bit too early?
Okay, I think that's very interesting. I think this might be a mistake here for bayagster, but he does want to set these Dragoons out instead. And of course, they will be safer in an angle. Oh, did bayagster not see this? Oh, he did it! He finally sees it though. No, he did. He sees it now. He sees it now. But that was so close, honestly. bayagster almost not spotting that one out. But eventually, here comes BlaZeR with more and more reinforcements. Has BlaZeR actually gotten rid of the assimilator? No, sir. He still doesn't care. He's going for the assimilator onto his natural instead. Still keeping up with that Zealot count. With a 20 army worth in Zealots, well, these are going to be 10 Zealots basically looking to retreat and come back home and make sure he can defend those cascades. It's going to be a good fight here and now. It reminds me of the Battle of Thermopylae, basically the Battle of 300, and these Spartans, these Zealots looking to hold into these choke points.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't bother to destroy it because I think bayagster didn't want his Dragoons to be caught out by the Zealots, because a pure Zealot army can easily take down Dragoons. Like, the Zealots attack faster than Dragoons, that's why they're much damage.
They also sound very angry, that's for sure, and you can really see they sound very angry. They're always grunting. Yeah. They're always like complaining. Oh, we have to fight. Oh, I'm gonna try to kill you. Yeah. And they get rid of the assimilator as bayagster gets rid of the proxy gateway coming our way. And it is gonna be a very interesting expansion here for bayagster. He has gone all the way. A little far off, honestly, on the most south side of the map to really set up a high ground nexus point. Gonna be very interesting to see what it's gonna be leading into, but at the same time, we do see the robo support as well as the facility online here for bayagster. Drops again for Reavers, perhaps, might be into the cards.
Yeah, wow, with those cannons, I mean, he could transition into something else, like maybe air units, probably.
I still feel like PvP is really a ground-based game, like, not gonna lie. Unless you're going for carriers, there's no real point.
Carriers take too much time. Yeah, it's like two 2 minutes almost.
It takes forever, and you just see carriers versus PCs in PvT, and I feel like if you are gonna go for the Stargate, you either want to have the support of the Corsair with the Disruption Web or to just really help out your drops. Like, I've seen that before. I just can't remember what game, but I do remember experimentation of seeing Corsairs being used in a PvP because you want to get that web on to protect any kind of those shuttle drops. You put it close to where your Reaver is gonna drop, you toss out that Scarab, bring that Reaver back on the inside, and you get out scot-free in terms of that safety. But one more thing you can build with the Stargate, of course, can be those Arbiters. You get a little bit of that cloaking, and a Stasis Field or two might help out in the long run.
Yeah, Stasis Field is like the best thing to have in a PvP matchup because it's pesky. Aside from the fact that the units are invulnerable, they're still out of the play for like a good 2 to 3 minutes. And it's a big factor at that point.
It's very interesting to see, but we are going to get a number of upgrades right here, right now for Mr. eXoBLaZeR. He is going to go for a little bit of that Dragoon range and going for that ground upgrades as well, +1. Coming online, we got some leg lots coming our way at the same time, and it really goes to show that this is going to be a very gateway-focused build here for Blazer. He has gotten into Templar Archives, and the real question here and now, is it going to be the High Temp? Is it going to be the Dark Templar instead? No, it's the High Temp coming online and seems like an Archon for a little bit of support in the backline.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much standard-ish for both of these players, except for the gateway that Blazer had a while ago. But the workers are almost even. The expansion never really did push through, did it? That third base.
It's set up for something, but then the constructor was like, "We ran out of money, guys," and that's gonna be the show. And that happens here in StarCraft because you don't queue up the money when you want to build something. If you actually build it suddenly just disappears, and there you go.
Yeah.
So apparently it never got built, and the building permits were just not online. That's how it unfolds. But anyway, Reavers right now for the shuttle will be sending things off. Dragoons right now gonna be also part of the action. But look at this defense here for Blazer. That's very, very scary. He just needs to probably do things right if he doesn't want to get blown up by those Scarabs from those Reavers.
Yeah, I mean, the Scarabs will probably hit the Zealots first, but I don't think the Zealots will clump too much. Hopefully they won't. I think they will. Okay.
They probably will, just based on their AI. They're gonna really rush into one or two things.
That's the hard
And boom goes the dynamite!
Oh! It hit
Almost.
4 Zealots.
If it was actually a double hit, that could have gotten some really significant damage into the front line. But Blazer reacting well timed, but these cannons will go down. Reavers right now rebuilding those Scarabs might be an opportunity here for Blazer to actually push on in with his significant army count. But it's time for the brawl here and now, really going for the hits onto these bases. The cannons getting counter hits already, and here comes the Scarabs. But the High Templar actually having Psionic Storm into the fray, gonna be looking to burn things down. The shuttle picks up one of those Reavers though, but this is still Blazer now looking to punish with a number of Zealots charging into the action.
Speedlots for the win, baby!
They're very scary,
Yeah,
honestly.
They are very scary. At least the shuttle saved the Reaver.
Speaking
But
of shuttle,
here it is! Here's the Reaver. Is it gonna
here's the
get
drop.
a hit?
Is it gonna be a drop?
Good reaction. Good reaction.
Chilling. Gonna be taken down
It's
with the
stopped.
Scarab. The Scarab gets stopped and eventually blows up by the Nexus Point. Back into the fold already. Into the front lines. Blazer has gotten the reversal of fortunes and decided to bring in some misfortune on the front lines of bayagster. Now bayagster doesn't have the most fortified position, and this is an opportunity for Blazer to really push on into these caverns. Bloody Ridge is named that way for a very good reason, and it's the blood of the Templar already coming online. The Zealots going for the damage. It's such a big brawl, and here comes the storms, the crackle from the lightning. Archon gonna get warped on in as well. Advantage here for Blazer, and this might be it. 30 army left for bayagster compared to the 60 that Blazer has, and he's looking for the push. Now the last chance here for bayagster has to be to hold this funnel, but it's just not working out, and the army count is just way too high up. Blazer with the macro again, getting the Nexus first to work on at really trying to pioneer a resurgence of the economic opening, and eXoBLaZeR with the advantage all the way. bayagster unable to punish. GG, well played is called. Congratulations, and victory goes over to Blazer in one of the biggest matchups in this tournament.
Yeah, like I said, my money was on Blazer, and it paid off.
Oh, is he
But
gonna pay you now? Is that how it's gonna go?
no. There's no money. Yeah, I just bet on the right horse, dude.
Exactly. And yeah, Blazer with a very well deserved victory. Honestly showing me that Nexus First does have its spot in the PvP. Honestly, by
Yeah.
looking at a few games here and there, you can really see the risk factor of the Nexus, but bayagster are unable to really punish properly. I could see there are times that bayagster is looking to really get a few Dragoon hits here and there, especially in that game number 1, but it never really panned out. Blazer just went all in with those zealots, had enough production to go, and honestly, very, very well defended there by Blazer in many regards. It seems like when your opponent isn't really gonna be hampering you in any way, you are gonna be able to get a pretty safe Nexus in all things considered. I still think it's a pretty big risk and it might really blow up in your face sometime or not. But hey, extra minerals don't hurt whatsoever, and with some good micro as well from Blazer, well, he's able to get those zealots in position, that's for sure.
Yeah. So there are a few pointers I wanna point out here. Like this is actually like a StarCraft 2 moment. If you see your opponent going for reavers are like basically somewhat kind of an immortal. If there's too much zealots and the zealots just keep on flowing and coming in, um, Bagster didn't have enough frontline defense for the Dragoons and the Reavers. That's why when the storms came in, it was just too perfect for Blazer at that moment right there. Like, and also for Baxter, he had too much gas. He could have like transitioned maybe his units to Dark Templars. Even getting the feedback was the best option because he had so much gas. He could have even gone the regular Archons instead, just to instead of having the storm upgrades, maybe even just Archons to soak up more damage to counter the zealots that were Blazers units.
I
But
mean, yeah.
in the moments right there, like too much is going on. You're trying to defend. But in any matchups, you're gonna have to react properly to those moments.
Exactly, and just let's just talk about this. Bayagster did go for that mech-oriented build, as we do see have our best of 3 displayed on with 2 victories there for Blazer on the first and third maps, with Bayagster taking the second one in the middle. But let's go back to me and let's talk about a little bit of how that really unfolded. It really turned into a bio versus mech kind of warfare,
Yeah.
and with the Reavers not having enough frontline, as Mr. Panda mentioned, it really eventually they run out of scarabs. Eventually they don't have enough burst. Sure, you can get a few zealots charging on into you, but it really goes to show if they get the swarm on, it's like zerglings basically that are a lot bigger, a lot feistier, a lot more angry. Just Bob the
Yeah.
Zealot really running at you, screaming his head off. But yeah, just Blazer having numerous numbers and having the advantage there with the economy, with the macro, and building a bigger army, allowing him to take that victory. So yes, guys, that was another round 2 match. And honestly, we are lagging behind, but hey, we have had a pretty solid time so far. So we will take a little more significant break. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a snack, and at the same time, we're gonna be waiting on for round number 3 to really give us a little bit of some action coming our way. So yeah, we had 2 round 2 matches this time to broadcast, and we still have more to go. We are not even halfway done with our tournament, so we are pretty much gonna be here all day and all night. But don't go away. This has been Daks and PandaUser casting this one. Next on the list, probably gonna be Extinct for round number 3. And if you guys have any people who are interested in volunteering to actually co-cast for this one, well, you know who to call. You can use the Discord for that kind of jazz. But this has been eXoBLaZeR versus bayagster. Congratulations to Blazer. Moving on to the next round, really making it such a fun show. We have gotten 2 giveaways up and running already, and we still have 2 more to go over the course of the day. But anyway, guys, we'll take a break and we'll be back with round number 3 a little later on.